Hello you guys, welcome back to another video. So excited to have another color tutorial. I know I have not had that many lately. I feel like I was just in my vlogging era, which I still am, but I don't want to neglect you guys on the hair tutorials. So I am doing more of like a cool toned bronze tutorial on, actually this is one of my coworkers and stylist that works at my salon, and we did her hair for the first time with this like dimensional bronze back in the fall. So we're just like touching it up today and moving up her extensions and all that stuff. So I wanted to take you guys along with that. So I am taking her extensions fully out. This one is one that we are doing a removal and reinstall on. I believe she got the J-Tide wefts from Jay-Z's. I know it's from Jay-Z Styles. I can't remember if they are the machine wefts or the J-Tide. I don't even know if she still has machine wefts on her website. And we got a darker color and then we got a lighter color too that we are taking out right now. So what we do with her is every other move up appointment is a full removal reinstall. So in 6 more weeks, as long as like there's nothing wrong with like her install, we will just slide her beads up. And then in 6 more weeks, so then at 12 weeks is when we will do a full removal and reinstall. I will say as a disclaimer, she is actually the first person that I have ever sewn extensions in on. So she's been my little guinea pig the past few months. So sometimes I do, just so I can get practice in, if I have the time, sometimes I do just do a full-blown removal and reinstall, but that's a typical like maintenance situation for most hand-tied wefts. And I'll go ahead and download you guys on color and what we are going to be doing now while you guys watch me sew her extensions in. For one, just so you guys know, I don't really like to give like how to install tips anyway on YouTube, just because I feel like installing extensions is one of those things where you kind of need to like watch in person, and you shouldn't be taking that just from a standalone like YouTube video. I don't want anyone to like watch a video on how to install extensions and like that's like their only form of education, and then they, you know, take that and run with it and like take models. So for that, for one, and then like I said, for two, I'm in no way to educate for any type of sewing method, because this is my only client that I've done it on. So that's it, you know. I am definitely starting to get the hang of them a little bit more, which I have been loving to see. But yeah, even if you ever see me doing like any type of individual, any extension method that I do specialize in, I just wanted to clear that up. But one thing that you guys can kind of see right now, actually, as I'm sewing these extensions in is, and it's probably like my main beef with Jay-Z Styles extensions, is I just feel like they fade so warm. I've been around Jay-Z extensions before, and yeah, they fade really warm. And I remember when she got these in the mail, they were already on the warmer side, and I had to color them initially, and they actually didn't take the color the first time. So I kind of knew, okay, I'm gonna have to color these again today. And I kind of had it in my head that like I'm not exactly sure if they will take color the first time, or if I'm gonna have to like do like another shadow root on them or something, which, spoiler alert, they did take the color just fine the first time that I did them. But yeah, if you do a lot of sew-ins and if you do a lot of Jay-Z style stuff, and if you are familiar with that, let me know what your experience has been with how their color fades on, you know, your clients and all that good stuff. Really, this is just a big maintenance appointment for her, color and extension wise. We took her dark around a year ago, and she was kind of starting to notice when she was looking at her pictures from a year ago that her hair just was a lot more cooler back then. I will say she does fade a little warmer anyway too. Not as warm as these extensions for sure. But the main thing that we wanted to do was just cool everything back down between her extensions and her natural hair, and then touch up her like highlight placement then too. We do very, very subtle dimension on her. Nothing too crazy at all with that, because she does like to predominantly stay dark and likes to predominantly be more of like her natural color. We just like to have a little bit of dimension just for a little bit of movement and a little bit of spice, if you will. So that's gonna be our main game plan for today. And then what I also do like to do on her is I like to install her extensions first, and then I color around them. It definitely kind of depends. Now, my K-tip clients, I have to color them first before I install the extensions because they can't get their hair wet or shampooed for 72 hours after the install. But with how hand-tied wefts lay, especially with how they lay on her, and because I am very intentional on not over foiling her or anything like that, I actually like to have the extensions installed already because the placement of her color will just kind of like impact that for me. And then we need to bring, she does like a long curtain bang and like a face frame, and it had just grown out so much in like the past 12 weeks. So we had to like bring that up a lot. So a big tip too is if you know that you are cutting curtain bangs or bangs on someone for the first time, or heavy face frame or anything like that, and if their starting base is pretty long, I definitely recommend you cutting that before you color their hair too, because it can definitely like impact your money piece placement too. So that's why I went ahead and freshened up. I did like fine tune it on her after I blue dried everything because this is her just with her air dried hair. So it's not like it's laying pretty good, but definitely like after everything was all like blow dried, it just needed like some minor tweaking. But it's nice to go ahead and just have like the foundation of her hair already all built out, because then I felt like I didn't have to think then as much when it came to the color work, if that makes sense. So highlight placement, I did just a really rooty dimensional partial, sorry, my dog dropped her bone. Very rooty dimensional partial teasy light. Everything was teased, even in the money piece. I am really just, like I said, just bringing things up and just making sure that she has a little bit of dimensional movement in her hair. So I do not want to over foil. So my sections that I'm foiling are very fine anyway. And now my dog is barking because she is realizing I'm not giving her attention. Okay, I think I got her under control, you guys. But anyway, I'm taking what I would take as a baby light section. I'm just weaving, or I'm sorry, I am weaving, but I'm also giving it a really good tease. My biggest tip when it comes to blended teasy lights is you always want to start your tease down around 2 inches lower than you would want your blend to start, but then also too, you want to paint 2 inches around like higher than what you would actually want your blend to start to. So you tease lower than you think, and then you paint higher than you think, because then where the tease meets the like actual like highlights when you brush it out is what helps to create like a more seamless blend then too. And I do still almost always shadow root at the bowl, which I am shadow rooting her today at the bowl as well. And then that will always help to just like really marry in like everything all together. But it definitely does start with your foil placement too. So I am doing that all throughout the mohawk area. That's the only area that I'm really highlighting besides her sides with her hairline. And then I'm taking around, I'd say I took around like 2 inch leave out in the back, and then now that I'm working my way to the front, I do leave a little bit less, and I kind of work my way into more closer to like 1 inch of space of leave out to a 1/2 inch. And then when I'm in the money piece, it always just kind of depends on what kind of money piece placement that we're doing on them. I will say on her, we do I did want to have a pretty like decently noticeable money piece without it being like too bold or anything like that. So what I did on her is I did back-to-back weaves and teases. I also too don't tease nearly as low either. So you're gonna see I'm gonna do just a little bit of a more subtle tease, and I'm still weaving everything because again, I don't want this to be too bold. I'm not trying to make her look uber blonde or anything by any means, but I do definitely still want like a noticeable money piece. Paint a little bit closer up too, but that weave or that tease that I did will just help to make sure that it's not like an actual highlight. Depending on the client, sometimes I will still highlight it, but on her, I wanted to make sure that when she pulled her hair back, that it wasn't just like instant blonde. I wanted it to be a like a Rudy base, because that's what she kept saying when we were consulting, was that I still want to be Rudy. And while her highlights were grown out, they weren't grown out that much. I just still didn't want to like highlight anything. I felt like that was going to take away from her dark base. But as you guys are seeing, I'm taking back-to-back sections here, and so that's what's going to help it still have a little bit more of a pop. And the little bit that I'm teasing is just helping to slightly diffuse it and to just make sure that it still has like a good amount of dimension in it as well. It also helps too that she has still her grown out blonde on the ends as well, that I'm able to use to work with. If she did not have grown out blonde on her ends, I probably would have tipped out her ends very, 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 very subtly, but I didn't have to do that because she already basically kind of had a little bit of a tip out going on. And now that I am working my way a little bit more back away from like the focal part of the money piece, I'm still treating this kind of like a money piece, but I'm going to treat it as like a money piece transition, where I'm just going to start kind of like leaving a little bit more subsection out in my section. So that means that I'm going to have I'm going to be, when I'm weaving, I'm going to be more like skimming off the top a little bit more, so that there's a little bit more of her base that's going to be left out as well. I'm going to do that a couple sections until I feel like I am met up with what I was doing in the back. And so I'm, again, just skimming off, taking larger sections and just kind of skimming off the top a little bit more, like what you guys just saw. And eventually I'm going to be kind of met back to what I was doing in the back, which was, I was already kind of past a little more like 2-inch subsections, but I kind of get more into like the more 1-inch left out subsections. That gives you a really, really, really seamless money piece when you kind of like have a transitional area, and it helps it have like a really, really, really soft blend. All right, now we're working our way through the sides, and I definitely still wanted to do just a few foils on each side to help to connect the money piece, because otherwise it would literally just look like a good old little zebra stripe, if not. But the sides already had like a good amount of brightness to it, so I really just wanted to like slightly bring it up to maintain it. I definitely did not have to do nearly as many money piece foils, because you can kind of even see if you look over by my pink clip over to the left, like there's still quite a good amount of brightness. I think it was just how maybe it was foiled the last time and how her hair grew out. So because of that, I only did around 4 foils on each side, and I kept them pretty dimensional as well. The first 2 still I kept as like decent hairline foils, just so that when she pulls her hair back, she sees a good amount of brightness. And she's one too where like she'll pull her hair back, but then she likes to keep her bangs out, and I didn't want those to look dark on the sides. But after that, I made sure to still like kind of make it where there was a good amount of dimension still in between. Definitely still weaved everything as well, but we really didn't need anything like too crazy here. The groundwork was kind of already built out. And same thing as like up top, you know, I did not need to do any tip outs or anything like that too. So let's talk about color formulating. So I love to use like an alkaline demi permanent color for this, where it still is a demi permanent, but it has a lot more coverage and it has that more opaque feel, which is like the benefits of a permanent color, but it's not nearly as like, it's like opaque with a little bit of like movement and sheen. It's not like flat like permanent color a lot of times has to be. It still gives the hair a lot of shine, and it behaves like a demi permanent color then too. And I say that to say that like it still fades with washes. She's not gonna have a harsh grow out line, all that stuff. So my favorite demi permanent color line for this is L'Oreal Dia Color. I love Dia Color for exact things like this. It's still like it's easy to lighten through. It behaves really well, and it gives the right amount of coverage with the behavior of a demi-permanent like gloss type of color, just with more coverage. I used a little bit of 6N, but I mainly used 6B, are blue based. So it still is, it's a ashier beige blue. It's kind of like an ashy NB situation. It's kind of how I would describe it. And I needed that because, like I was just saying, like I wanted it to have a lot of richness to it, which is why I made sure to have a little bit of N in there as well. But I also needed to like really, really, really cool things down. I love using the Framar root repair brushes for root applications, especially when I need to do a little bit more like detail work like this. And when I'm moving in between the foils, I like to do, especially where my foils are like higher up and I'm working in that tease, because you really need to make sure that you are really saturating this area as well. Just like what I was saying when you're coloring extensions, is I like to literally get like the tip of my brush highly saturated, and then I will literally like just shimmy the color, like, and kind of like shake, like use like, I don't know, kind of like zigzaggy motions right on the scalp to really make sure that I am like really working that color all the way in. And then now we are moving on to the ends of the hair. I like to use my Emperor brush by Framar for any type of like all over color, like working through the ends type of thing, because then I use the brush, the comb part, to like really work the color in as well. Either that, or I'll use my detangling brush that I have alongside of me. And I did a mix. So I did some of the areas where it was still like, where it was like the more darker color, I did just use the 6N 6B and just pulled it through the ends. But then there were some spots that more so just needed like a little bit more neutralizing, and I wanted this color to have a lot of movement. So I also mixed up a gloss, and I did 6NB, 7NB, and 7N from OLIGO CALURA gloss, and that is what I use as the darker color that I pulled in through the ends. But some areas that were like extra warm is where I use the 6N 6B from Adia Color too. And then I did leave the blonde pieces out because we, like I said, we weren't trying to go like all over dark, and the blonde pieces that were going to be out then obviously would match like the highlights that I put into her hair. And that is what I toned down at the shampoo bowl. And then at the bowl, then the same 6NB, 7NB, 7N gloss as her shadow root. There was nothing wrong with that. So I figured to use, and I had a little bit of leftover color with that. So that was able to be used as her shadow root that I use at the shampoo bowl. And I put that in. More so I just did it up at the top to like where I put the highlights at. I didn't need to do like an all over like global shadow root, if that makes sense. But I did put that on. That was again from OLIGO CALURA Gloss with 10 volume. Let that sit for a few minutes. And then I toned her down to a level 8 like beigey kind of bronze situation. And my favorite formula for that is again CALURA Gloss 8GI, 8GV, 8N, and 8G. With 10 volume as well. Depending on what I'm working with and what like, if there, how much yellow is in the hair or how much I'm toning down, that will kind of make my ratios like kind of depend a little bit. Her hair lifted fine to like a fine level 9, and then she had a little bit of like yellowy level 9 ends. So I didn't want it to go too ashy cool. So I did use more 8G in the formula. Especially because 8GI, while I love it, it can be a little bit like ashy. So I just didn't want it to like overly cool down things though either. So I wanted it to be like cool, but with like a controlled cool, if that makes sense. And I let all of that sit, and then that gave us the after. I thought that I was doing more clips of like the after clips, and I also, side note, thought that I was filming me at the shampoo bowl. And I wasn't recording. I guess when I hit record, I must have hit stop record. So sorry that I don't have too many clips of that and finishing it up. But I do have plenty of videos that show me shadow rooting at the bowl. I didn't really do anything like monumental, honestly. Definitely like more of the stuff that I did at the chair as what like I was mainly covering. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I feel like this is a little bit more of a chaotic color tutorial. So sorry if it was. Definitely want to do more color tutorials here soon. So definitely sound off in the comments of any type of color tutorials that you guys are wanting to see in the new year, or just like any type of like hair tutorials, even if it's something with extensions or anything like that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Happy holidays, happy new year, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.